The Florida Republican-led House overwhelmingly passed legislation to create the strictest social media prohibitions in the country by cutting off anyone under 16 years old from many platforms. This is despite some objections from Governor Ron DeSantis. Florida legislation will require some social media platforms to prohibit anyone younger than 16 from creating an account and mandate they use a third party for age verification services. Legislature passed the bill with 2 weeks remaining in session. DeSantis would have to either sign or veto that measure. Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now to discuss this. And Khalif, could this legislation really pass on the federal level?
I mean, there's a number of states that are already doing this. You got Ohio, you got Louisiana. Other states have implemented rules and procedures to stop minors from getting access to social media on a high level without having adult supervision. You have a number of legislations that have been suing states for social media companies for not doing what they think is enough to protect children. So I think that the federal government will at some point attempt to step in. I think it will. However, I just don't know if there's enough votes to make it happen. You would think something like this is uniform across the board, regardless of party line, Democrat or Republican. Everybody wants to ensure that kids are safe. There is significant amount of science to support that there is damage being done to the kids now with their overutilization of social media. But there's outside interest that I don't think on a federal level something like this could happen. It was interesting to see that Florida passed this at 108 to 7, and so there was extremely bipartisan support, which is not normal. But I think on the federal level, we're just not there right now.
You know, the overwhelming support that kind of leads to this. You have the good intentions of the law, and it could really prevent some kids from child predators.
I mean, the goal is to keep kids off of there and to ensure that they are talking to other kids and not talking to adults. On its face, it sounds good. The problem with most of this technology and things like that is that the individuals that are writing the laws, the individuals that are trying to create new laws around this thing that's ever growing with open AI, with anything that's social media connected, they really don't utilize it. And so you have folks that don't utilize it and like, hey, let's just stamp something on there that we think will work. So now we'll make your parents have to sign on. And so Facebook and other social media people are saying, oh, wait a second. You're telling us that now you want us to retain this information, a driver's license of a parent so that their kid can get on social media. The loopholes and the potential ramifications from maybe mismanaging how they store that information can lead to more problems. And it's a cost for us to store that information on a daily basis because you'll have to have that verification instantly all the time. They're saying that's a resource, is something that we as the company shouldn't have to bear the burden of carrying. And so it has a number of secondary effects that I don't think they contemplated. And so there has been major pushback from Meta. There's been major pushback from all of the social media companies, and for right reason, because they had no seat at the table. These states are saying, listen, we're going to come up with this regulation. You have to abide by it.
We've been trying to do it for 30 years, regulate social media in some form, and it keeps evolving and nothing really gets done. But it's somehow you're trying to make some things.
Well, that's technology, and technology is always going to be a step ahead of regulation. But something like this with social media, it's like 20 steps ahead. And because, again, the people that are making the rules aren't using it on a high basis. Yeah, they have pages. Yeah, they're posting to it, but they don't know how it really works. They're not coding. They're not behind the scenes drafting and creating code that will go out there and do it. So when you say, I need you to have parental verification, and I create a law that now mandates it, well, what protocols and procedures will make sure this gets implemented and it actually can work? And how will you store the vast amount of data that it will take to ensure that a 12-year-old isn't actually getting on this website so their parents' IDs on there? I just think it's created a number of hurdles. While I'm 100% a parent of 4, I want them off of social media every chance I can get.
Absolutely.
But I will tell you that creating laws around it, I think, are going to create other hurdles that are unintended.
Devil's in a lot of details right there.
Super detailed.
Yeah. All right, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. Thanks, Tara.